Let me tell you something. Life doesn't reward the loudest voice. It rewards the most disciplined soul. Most people want to win, but few are ready to pay the price of winning. They dream of success, but they don't prepare for it. You see, life is not a lottery. It's a test. And the rules are written in your daily habits, your mindset, your attitude. So today, I want to give you 9 rules to win life. Not 9 tips, not 9 ideas, 9 laws. And if you live by them, your life will transform. Not overnight, but over time. Because success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work. Let me tell you something straight. Your excuses are expensive. Every time you make one, you are buying comfort and selling your future. Excuses are the silent killers of potential. They sound reasonable, they feel safe, but they cost you everything. You can't win life when your vocabulary is filled with "I can't," "I'm not ready," "It's not the right time." The truth is, it will never be the right time. The right moment is not waiting somewhere in the future. The right moment is now. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they choose excuses over execution. They have dreams, yes, but they also have reasons. Reasons why they can't start, why they can't risk, why they can't believe. And every reason they create becomes another wall between them and their destiny. You can't build your future and build your excuses at the same time. You must choose one. You see, excuses are comfortable because they keep you safe from accountability. As long as you can blame the weather, the economy, your parents, your boss, or your past, you never have to face the truth that you are the one holding yourself back. It's easy to point fingers. It's hard to look in the mirror, but that's where all change begins. The moment you stop running from responsibility and start owning your life. Let me give you a truth bomb. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care that you were tired, that you didn't have time, that you weren't ready. Life doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you never act on it, you'll die full of unused gifts. And that's the tragedy of excuses. They make smart people live average lives. You can't get ahead by staying behind your justifications. Every time you say, "I'll start when things get better," you are betting on a future that will never come. The conditions will never be perfect. The timing will never be flawless, and you will never feel completely ready. Winners understand this. They move anyway. They act despite fear, despite doubt, despite uncertainty, because they know that progress is built in motion, not in waiting. Think about it. How many dreams died because someone said, "Not today"? How many ideas faded because someone decided to wait for permission? Excuses disguise themselves as logic, but they are the most emotional decision you can make. They are built on fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But fear never leaves. It only shrinks when you move toward it. The more you take action, the smaller your fears become. Let's be real. It's easy to talk about ambition. It's easy to dream big when you're comfortable. But when the pain hits, when the obstacles rise, that's when the excuses start whispering in your ear. You've done enough. Take a break. You're not like them. That voice, that soft, convincing voice, is the enemy. It wants to protect you from effort, but in doing so, it protects you from success. If you ever want to win, you must learn to silence that voice and replace it with action. Discipline kills excuses. When you decide to do it no matter what, when it becomes non-negotiable, you strip excuses of their power. The difference between winners and the rest isn't that winners don't feel tired, afraid, or uncertain. They do, but they act anyway. They wake up when they don't feel like it. They show up when no one's watching. They grind when others are sleeping because they understand that success is not a mood, it's a decision. Let me tell you this, excuses will always sound best to the person making them. You can convince yourself that you're doing your best, that you're being realistic, that you're protecting yourself from failure, but deep down you know the truth. You know that every time you choose comfort over courage, you shrink a little. Every time you postpone your potential, you betray your own destiny. And here's the catch. Life will always test you. The moment you decide to level up, life will throw you discomfort, doubt, delay, and disappointment. That's how it checks if you're serious. Most people quit there. They think the resistance means they're not ready. But that resistance is the proof you're growing. The more you push, the harder it gets. And that's exactly why most people stop. But the few, the rare few, keep going. They don't let excuses talk them out of their purpose. They push through pain, through fatigue, through failure. And those people, those are the ones who win. Excuses are the luxury of the average. They are the currency of mediocrity. You can't afford them if you're chasing greatness. You can't talk about big dreams and still keep small habits. You can't desire success and still make excuses. You have to choose, because every "I'll do it later" is a small betrayal of your potential. Every "maybe tomorrow" is a brick in the wall between you and success. The truth is simple. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to believe in your dream more than you. No one's going to push you harder than you push yourself. Life doesn't hand out trophies for intentions. It hands them to those who execute. So stop explaining your dreams and start proving them. Stop telling people what you're going to do and let your results speak for you. At the end of the day, your excuses might protect your pride, but they will destroy your progress. And if you're not willing to sacrifice your excuses, you will have to sacrifice your dream. You can't have both. You either make excuses or you make results, but you can't make both. So the next time your mind says, "I can't," respond with, "I must." The next time you feel unready, remind yourself that nobody ever is. You're not waiting for the right moment. You're creating it, because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the excuse you keep telling yourself. And when you finally stop making them, when you finally decide that nothing will stop you, that's the moment you start winning life. Comfort is seductive. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you deserve to take it easy, that you've done enough, that it's okay to slow down. But let me tell you something real. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Nothing great was ever built inside the comfort zone. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you choose average over excellence. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The life you want is hiding behind the discomfort you're avoiding. Growth only happens in the places that stretch you, scare you, and sometimes even break you. Look at anyone who's achieved greatness, an athlete, an entrepreneur, a leader. They all have one thing in common. They've learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because they understand that pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Every struggle is shaping something inside you: resilience, discipline, hunger, focus. And that's what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Most people want growth without the grind. They want success without the sweat. They want transformation without tension. But that's not how life works. You can't climb a mountain and stay in the valley at the same time. If you want to rise, you must be willing to leave comfort behind, because comfort feels good now, but it costs you later. Growth hurts now, but it pays you for life. Let me give you a hook. Comfort is where dreams go to die quietly, not with a bang, but with silence. You don't even notice it happening. One day you stop pushing yourself, stop learning, stop trying something new. You tell yourself, "I'm fine where I am." And slowly, your fire fades. You lose that spark, that hunger, that edge. And by the time you realize it, years have passed, and you've become a version of yourself you once promised you'd never be. The danger of comfort is that it feels safe, but it's slowly suffocating your potential. When you stop growing, you start dying. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Growth is the oxygen of the soul. You need challenge to stay alive. You need pressure to find purpose. You need discomfort to uncover strength you didn't know you had. You know what's crazy? The same people who say, I want change, are the ones unwilling to change themselves. They want a new life, but cling to old habits. They pray for progress, but resist the process. You can't grow while holding on to what's holding you back. You have to let go of comfort if you ever want to grab hold of greatness. Pain is the entry fee for progress. You don't get stronger by avoiding struggle. You get stronger by enduring it. The gym of life doesn't build your muscles when it's easy. It builds them when it burns. Every challenge is a rep. Every failure is a set. And every time you push through discomfort, you grow. But the moment you stop pushing, you plateau. And life has a rule. What isn't growing is dying. Let me tell you something powerful. Growth demands discomfort because discomfort destroys ego. When you step out of your comfort zone, you meet the real you, the version that's raw, uncertain, and sometimes afraid. But that's where confidence is built. Confidence doesn't come from success. It comes from surviving struggle. Every time you face what scares you, you build a new layer of belief in yourself, and that belief is priceless. Most people are not stuck because they lack opportunities. They're stuck because they've made peace with mediocrity. They've mistaken comfort for peace. But peace doesn't come from avoiding struggle. It comes from conquering it. You'll never feel proud of a life that required no effort. You'll never feel fulfilled by the easy road because deep down, you know you were made for more. The truth is, life will test your hunger. It will put you in uncomfortable situations to see if you truly want what you say you want. Every challenge is a question. How bad do you want it? And your actions will answer. Do you want it enough to wake up earlier, to fail repeatedly, to feel the pain and still show up? Because if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, you're not ready to grow. Growth requires sacrifice. You have to sacrifice comfort for character, convenience for consistency, temporary ease for long-term excellence. Every time you choose the hard thing, you are teaching yourself discipline. You are teaching yourself strength. You are teaching yourself what it means to be unstoppable. Think about it. A diamond is just a piece of coal that refused to crumble under pressure. Without the heat, it would have stayed ordinary. The same applies to you. The fire you face is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to define you. That pressure you feel, it's not punishment. It's the process of transformation. You can't become gold without going through fire. So the next time life gets uncomfortable, don't run from it. Lean into it, because discomfort is not your enemy. It's your evolution in disguise. Every moment of struggle is building something powerful in you. Every challenge you overcome is unlocking another level of who you're meant to be. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through. And here's the hook. Comfort will whisper, stay here, it's safe. Growth will whisper, move, it's time. One keeps you where you are, the other takes you where you belong. The question is, which voice will you listen to? If you want to live a life that matters, stop looking for what's easy and start doing what's necessary. Don't pray for lighter burdens, pray for stronger shoulders. Don't wish for comfort, wish for courage. Because the moment you stop running from discomfort and start using it, that's the moment life starts changing for you. Every great story begins when someone decides they're done being comfortable. So maybe, just maybe, your next chapter begins when you finally decide to step into the discomfort that's been waiting to grow you. Work until they can't ignore you. That's not just a motivational line, it's a mindset, a lifestyle, a declaration of war against mediocrity. Because in a world full of talkers, only doers rise. Everyone says they want success, but very few are willing to outwork the noise. And make no mistake, success doesn't come to the most talented or the most intelligent. It comes to the one who refuses to stop working when others do. You see, the world is busy applauding effortless talent, but real power is built in the shadows. In the early mornings when no one's watching, in the late nights when everyone else has gone home. Greatness is forged in those invisible hours when you're sweating, grinding, building your craft, while the rest are sleeping on their potential. The truth is, people may doubt your words, but they can't ignore your work. When your consistency becomes louder than your excuses, the world will have no choice but to listen. There's a hook right here. Stop begging for attention. Start demanding it with your results. Don't tell them who you are. Show them what you can do. Let your actions be so sharp, so undeniable, that even your critics have to respect your work. Because respect can't be requested. It's earned. And the currency of respect is sweat, sacrifice, and relentless execution. Most people work until it gets hard, then they stop. Champions work until it's done. The difference between average and elite isn't talent, it's endurance. It's the ability to keep moving when others get tired. Because the world is full of starters, but only a few finishers. Everyone wants to be a lion until it's time to hunt. Everyone wants the glory, but no one wants the grind. But that grind, that's where character is born, where self-belief is strengthened, where greatness is sculpted one painful repetition at a time. You don't become unstoppable overnight. You become unstoppable when you decide that giving up is not an option. You become unstoppable when you show up on your worst days with the same energy you had on your best. You become unstoppable when you no longer work for validation. You work for victory. Because the truth is, you can't inspire people with what you plan to do. You inspire them with what you consistently do. The world is watching. Maybe not now, maybe not yet, but eventually they will. The problem is, most people quit before they're noticed. They underestimate how long it takes to be seen. You have to understand, life will test your patience. It will test your consistency. It will ask you, how bad do you want it? And your answer won't be in your words. It will be in your work. When you keep showing up day after day, silently building, silently improving, something magical happens. Momentum. Momentum doesn't come from motivation. It comes from motion. You build it one disciplined action at a time. Every day you show up, you make a deposit in the bank of mastery. One day, those deposits turn into dividends. One day, the same people who ignored you will ask how you did it. They'll call you lucky. They'll say you were born with it, but you'll know the truth. You earned it when they were resting. You worked when they were relaxing. You believed when they were doubting. Let me hit you with this. Never measure your success by who notices you. Measure it by how much you've grown when no one did. Because obscurity is a test. It's where dreams are built in silence. That's the season when most people give up. But the great ones understand silence is sacred. It's where skill matures, where discipline strengthens, where the foundation of your future success is laid. When you're working in the dark, remember, the light will find you when your time comes. But here's the catch. You can't out-talk your work. You can't market your way out of mediocrity. You can't post your way to mastery. Social media has created a generation of performers, not producers. Don't be the person who spends more time showing they're working than actually working. Real results don't need a filter. They speak for themselves. When your performance is exceptional, your reputation will follow. Here's another hook. Don't compete with people, compete with your potential. Every day you should wake up asking, am I better than I was yesterday? Because real competition isn't external, it's internal. The version of you that procrastinates, doubts, and hesitates, that's your opponent. And the only way to defeat it is through consistent, relentless work. Work until your presence commands respect without you saying a word. Work until your name opens doors that once ignored you. Work until your signature becomes more valuable than your salary. That's the power of effort. That's the level where you stop chasing success, and success starts chasing you. But you'll never reach that level by working when you feel like it. You reach it by working even when you don't. Discipline is the bridge between potential and performance. You can have all the dreams in the world, but without work, they're just fantasy. It's the grind that turns ideas into income, vision into value, and plans into power. So, stop waiting for motivation. Start relying on discipline. Because motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you consistent. And let me tell you, when you outwork everyone around you, people start paying attention, not because you shouted the loudest, but because you built something undeniable. Effort has a voice, and it speaks through results. Keep going until that voice becomes so loud, so clear, that even your silence commands attention. So when you wake up tomorrow, remember this: nobody owes you recognition, nobody owes you validation, and nobody owes you opportunity. You owe yourself effort, you owe yourself consistency, you owe yourself the life you dream of, and the only way to earn it is through work so powerful, so precise, so persistent that eventually they can't ignore you, even if they tried. Feed your mind, not your ego, because your ego will make you feel good for a moment, but feeding your mind will make you grow for a lifetime. The problem with most people today is that they want to look wise, not be wise. They want to appear successful without doing the work that success demands. They crave validation more than education. But the truth is simple. You can't win in life with an empty mind and a full ego. The moment you think you know everything is the exact moment you stop growing. Every level of your life will demand a higher level of your thinking. You can't think on a level 10 if your knowledge is stuck on level 2. Growth begins when you humble yourself enough to say, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn. Because the most dangerous thing in life is not ignorance, it's arrogance disguised as confidence. The ego whispers, you've made it. The mind says, you can do better. Which voice you listen to determines how far you go. There's a powerful hook here. Your mind is the engine of your destiny, and if you don't feed it, you can't drive far. Most people spend hours feeding their bodies, their image, their comfort. But how much time do they spend feeding their mind? You can't produce extraordinary results with ordinary thinking. If you want to grow your life, you must grow your mindset. You see, the ego loves attention, but the mind loves information. The ego thrives on praise. The mind thrives on progress. The ego wants to be right. The mind wants to be better. And when you start valuing learning over looking smart, your entire life begins to change. Because true intelligence isn't about having all the answers. It's about staying curious enough to keep asking questions. The smartest people in the world are the most humble learners. They know that every conversation is an opportunity to grow. Every book is a new doorway. Every failure is a lesson. That's why they keep evolving while others stay stuck. The moment you stop learning, you start declining. Stagnation doesn't happen because life stops teaching. It happens because you stop listening. The ego is seductive because it gives you comfort. It makes you believe you've already arrived. But let me tell you something. There's no arrival in greatness. There's only evolution. If you want to keep winning, you have to keep learning. Feed your mind with new knowledge, new perspectives, new ideas. Read books that challenge you. Surround yourself with thinkers who stretch you. Listen to mentors who question your limits. Don't fear being the least knowledgeable person in the room. Fear being the only one who stopped growing. Here's another hook. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant grows. If you plant fear, you grow doubt. If you plant learning, you grow wisdom. The problem is most people allow weeds, negativity, gossip, comparison to grow unchecked. They feed their mind with drama and expect peace. They scroll for hours but read for minutes. They know every trend but understand no principles. And then they wonder why their life feels empty, noisy, and directionless. You cannot think clearly when your mind is starving for truth. You cannot make wise decisions when your thoughts are fueled by ego. Feeding your mind means filtering what enters it, Protect your attention. It's the most valuable asset you have. Every video you watch, every person you listen to, every environment you enter, it's all food for your mind. The question is, are you feeding your mind junk or nourishment? When you start valuing your mental diet, your life changes. You start attracting better conversations, higher goals, deeper peace. You stop reacting emotionally to everything and start responding intelligently, because a well-fed mind doesn't panic, it plans. It doesn't compete, it creates. It doesn't chase attention, it commands respect. That's the power of a strong mind. But to build it, you must starve your ego. The ego wants to prove, the mind wants to improve. The ego wants recognition now, the mind wants mastery later. Ego makes you defensive, the mind makes you open. You can't feed both, one must die for the other to thrive. The day you start saying, "Teach me," instead of, "I already know," that's the day real growth begins. And let me tell you, real learning is uncomfortable. It challenges your beliefs, your pride, your habits. But that's exactly why it's powerful. Growth requires humility, the willingness to be wrong so you can become right. The people who grow the most are not the ones who talk the loudest, but the ones who listen the longest. Because listening isn't a weakness, it's a weapon. The more you listen, the more you learn, the more you lead. You'll notice something fascinating. The more you feed your mind, the quieter your ego becomes. You stop needing to prove your worth because you understand your value. You stop comparing because you start creating. You stop chasing applause because your work begins to speak for itself. You become calm, focused, intentional. That's the peace that knowledge brings. It silences the noise of insecurity. Most people are too busy defending what they know to discover what they don't. They argue to win instead of listening to grow. But here's the truth. Every argument your ego wins, your potential loses. Every time your ego blocks correction, it blocks elevation. You can't rise if you refuse to learn. So choose your hunger wisely. Be more hungry for wisdom than attention, for progress than perfection, for growth than glory, because the world doesn't reward the ones who think they know it all. It rewards the ones who keep learning even after they've won. When you feed your mind daily, success becomes predictable. You start seeing patterns others miss, opportunities others ignore, and possibilities others fear. Here's the final hook. When you feed your ego, you feel big for a moment. When you feed your mind, you become powerful for life. The first gives you illusion, the second gives you evolution. The first feeds your pride, the second fuels your potential. The choice is yours every single day. Feed the noise or feed the knowledge. One will keep you the same, the other will take you further than you ever imagined. Your circle shapes your ceiling. The people you spend the most time with are silently scripting the story of your future. Every conversation, every influence, every environment is either pulling you forward or holding you back. You can't expect to live a high-performing life while surrounding yourself with low-performing people. Energy is contagious, mindsets are contagious, and habits are contagious. So the question is, what are you catching? If you walk with winners, you start thinking like a winner. If you walk with dreamers, you start dreaming bigger. But if you walk with doubters, you start doubting yourself. It's not magic, it's proximity. You absorb what you're around. You reflect what you see. The people you surround yourself with are either multiplying your vision or murdering your potential. That's why you have to choose your circle, not based on comfort, but based on character, growth, and alignment. Here's the hook. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, because growth doesn't come from being celebrated. It comes from being challenged. The company of comfort creates complacency, but the company of excellence creates expansion. Don't surround yourself with people who clap for your mediocrity. Surround yourself with people who push you toward mastery. The right circle doesn't just inspire you, it holds you accountable to your greatness. Too many people stay stuck because they're loyal to the wrong crowd. They mistake history for destiny. Just because someone started the journey with you doesn't mean they're meant to finish it with you. You can love people from a distance and still protect your purpose. Growth requires separation, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. You must understand that not everyone is built for where you're going. Some people are anchors, not engines. They hold you steady when life is calm, but they'll also hold you down when it's time to rise. People often say, it's lonely at the top. No, it's lonely on the way up because very few people are willing to climb. The climb is steep. It requires focus, discipline, and sacrifice, things the average mind resists. But once you get there, you realize it's not lonely, it's peaceful, because the top is filled with people who value growth over gossip, purpose over popularity, and elevation over comfort. The truth is, your environment is shaping your expectations. If everyone around you complains, you'll start believing that complaining is normal. If everyone around you gives up, you'll start believing that quitting is acceptable. But when you surround yourself with driven, focused, disciplined people, you'll start believing that excellence is the standard. You don't even have to try. Their energy will shift yours. That's the power of proximity. You rise to the level of your circle. Here's a truth most people ignore. Not everyone deserves access to you. Access is a privilege, not a right. You are not obligated to entertain negativity, tolerate mediocrity, or engage with energy that drains you. Protect your space like your life depends on it, because it does. Your energy is your engine, and the wrong circle can shut it down. You can't fly with people who are comfortable crawling. You can't soar while surrounded by those afraid of heights. Think about it. Every successful person you admire didn't just have a vision. They had a circle that fueled it. Every great entrepreneur, athlete, or leader has people around them who sharpened them, guided them, challenged them. Iron sharpens iron, but friction is required. That means growth will sometimes feel uncomfortable, but that's the cost of evolution. You don't need people who always agree with you. You need people who hold you to a higher standard. The wrong crowd will celebrate your comfort zone. The right crowd will challenge it. The wrong crowd will feed your excuses. The right crowd will feed your execution. The wrong crowd will make you feel safe. The right crowd will make you feel capable. You have to decide, do you want approval or advancement? Because you rarely get both. Here's a powerful hook. If you hang around 5 broke people, you'll be the 6th. If you hang around 5 disciplined people, you'll be the 6th. You become what you're exposed to. So start auditing your circle. Ask yourself, who's adding to my vision and who's subtracting from it? Who challenges me to level up and who comforts me into staying the same? Growth begins when you stop trying to fit in and start building a circle that fits your purpose. Some people fear losing friends when they start growing, but remember, you're not losing them. You're outgrowing them. There's a difference. Growth doesn't mean you think you're better. It means you know you're meant for more. And sometimes that more requires you to walk alone for a while. The path to excellence isn't crowded, but eventually, when you stay true to your journey, you'll attract a new circle, one that matches your mindset, your hunger, and your mission. Let me tell you something. Isolation is not always a punishment. Sometimes it's preparation. The silence that follows separation is the space where clarity begins. Use it, reflect, refocus, realign. Because the moment you start attracting peace, purpose, and growth, you'll realize that the right people were waiting on the other side of your discipline. Stop trying to impress people who don't understand your vision. Stop explaining your dreams to those committed to small thinking. You're not obligated to dim your light so others feel comfortable in their darkness. Shine unapologetically. And when your light gets brighter, it will expose who's meant to walk with you and who's meant to watch you. The circle you choose today will determine the life you live tomorrow. Choose people who talk about goals, not gossip. Choose people who discuss vision, not victims. Choose people who push you to improve, not pull you to the past. Because at the end of the day, your success isn't just built by your work, it's built by your environment. Here's the final hook. Your circle is either your cage or your catalyst. It's either keeping you stuck or helping you soar. Choose wisely, because the difference between where you are and where you want to be might not be your talent, your resources, or your luck. It might just be your circle. Purpose is greater than profit, because profit fills your pockets, but purpose fills your soul. The world today is obsessed with chasing numbers, money, likes, followers, fame. But the truth is, you can have all of that and still feel empty inside. The problem isn't that people want success. The problem is they've forgotten why they want it. Purpose gives your success meaning. Without it, you're just running faster, harder, and emptier. Here's the hook. A man with a purpose will always outlast a man chasing profit, because profit gives you a reason to start, but purpose gives you a reason to keep going when it hurts. When the lights are off, when no one's watching, when failure becomes heavy, purpose is what keeps you moving. People who chase money quit when it gets hard. People who live with purpose fight harder when it gets painful. That's the difference. Every great movement, every revolution, every empire, every legacy began with one thing, a reason bigger than money, because money is temporary. It comes and goes, but purpose, that's eternal. It wakes you up in the morning with fire in your eyes. It gives your work meaning. It turns your struggle into significance. The reason so many people burn out isn't because they're working too hard. It's because they're working without meaning. They're climbing a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall. Purpose doesn't make life easier. It makes it worthwhile. It doesn't take away your problems. It gives your problems a reason to exist. That's why people with purpose can survive storms that would destroy others. They don't run from pain. They use it. They don't complain about the weight. They understand it's the weight that builds their strength. When your why is strong enough, the how doesn't matter. Look around. We live in a world where people measure success by what they have, not by what they give. But true success isn't about accumulation. It's about contribution. It's about what you build in others, not just what you build for yourself. Profit might buy you comfort, but purpose gives you peace. And peace, that's the rarest currency in the world, because peace is something money can't buy, but purpose can earn. Here's another hook. People don't follow money, they follow meaning. If your vision is only about you, it's too small. The greatest leaders, creators, and entrepreneurs don't chase wealth, they chase impact. And that impact creates wealth as a byproduct. When you serve something larger than yourself, success starts serving you. You don't have to chase it, it finds you. Purpose is what separates the rich from the fulfilled. There are people who have everything yet feel nothing. And there are those with almost nothing who wake up every day with fire in their hearts because they're driven by meaning. Purpose gives you emotional wealth, a richness that no market crash can take away. It's the difference between sleeping well and tossing in regret. But purpose requires courage. Because to live with purpose means to go against the grain. It means saying no to easy money, to quick fame, to short-term validation. It means playing the long game when everyone else is chasing the fast one. It means trusting that doing the right thing might not pay today, but it will pay forever. Purpose demands discipline. It demands that you lead even when no one is clapping. It demands that you believe in something greater than comfort, something eternal. The danger of a profit-only mindset is this. You'll start treating people as tools, not humans. You'll value transactions over transformation. And that's where the soul begins to die. But when you operate from purpose, every interaction becomes sacred. Every project becomes personal. You're not just working, you're building. You're not just earning, you're evolving. Think about it. How many people die rich but forgotten? And how many die poor but remembered forever? Purpose is what keeps your name alive after you're gone. Money fades, fame fades, trends fade, but impact that never fades. The question isn't how much will I earn? The question is, what will I leave behind? Because legacy isn't built from profit, it's built from purpose. Here's the truth. Purpose transforms pressure into power. When you know why you're doing something, even the hardest days make sense. Every rejection becomes redirection. Every failure becomes feedback. Purpose gives pain a name and turns it into progress. The person with a strong why can survive any how. That's not just motivation, that's reality. When you chase profit, you wake up tired. When you chase purpose, you wake up on fire, because your energy comes from alignment, not achievement. Purpose doesn't drain you, it drives you. And that's why purpose-led people always seem unstoppable, because they're not powered by approval, they're powered by conviction. Your purpose is the compass of your life. It directs your steps, defines your standards, and determines your destiny. Without it, you drift. With it, you dominate. It's not about finding purpose in a day, it's about finding it in your daily work, in how you speak, in how you serve, in how you show up when no one's watching. Because purpose is not something you discover, it's something you build. Here's the final hook. When you live for profit, you die when the money runs out. But when you live for purpose, you live long after you're gone. The true measure of success isn't how high you climbed, but how many people you lifted on the way. Profit gives you a living. Purpose gives you a life. And in the end, that's what really matters.